Inspiration can strike in the strangest of places. For me, most recently, it was with my 3-year-old on the Slinky Dash roller coaster. For all of us, there have been lots of surprises. For investors, obviously, it's the markets awakening and having a lot of volatility here over the last few weeks. For us as a family, it was heading down to normally sunny Orlando to be greeted by 46-degree rain for the better part of our vacation down there. And yet, there were still some great experiences for us. And despite the volatility, there can still be a lot of great experiences for you as investors. While we were down there, I realized the extent of just how adventurous my littlest Isla is by her insistence on stretching to try to get on every roller coaster and scary ride that she possibly could get on. Most notably, the Slinky Dog ride, which if you go to the written commentary, there's a link to a YouTube video that you can see is a fairly intense ride for anyone, let alone a 3-year-old. And asking her, how did you get through this? And she, shared a few things that as I was analogizing, certainly with the market volatility on my mind to investing, thought again would be a great way and hopefully a fun way to bring things together. First and foremost, when I asked her, how did you make it through? She said, well, I had my seatbelt on. For investors, what is your seatbelt? Well, that's diversification. We've talked time and time again, there's more on this in the written, that what that's typically meant in the past, your 60-40 traditional allocation, it's not gonna get it done. That seatbelt's not gonna work, but diversification is important. And for clients here at 10 Capital, whether it's some of our international positions, our alts, they've seen those things not just outperform on a relative basis, but even in some cases post positive returns. Secondly, it's about balance. If you're on that roller coaster, as they tell you, keep your hands and arms inside the ride. Don't let things drift out of bounds. As we talked about a couple weeks ago, for us as investors, that means regularly rebalancing. We've had a lot of great gains in some equity positions, trimming those positions, getting them back inside the bounds where things can be safe, put us in a position to, again, be ready for this volatility and hopefully take advantage of it very, very soon. The second thing she said when I asked her, how did you make it through, Isla, despite the fact she was a little scared, was, well, I made sure to hold your hand. The analogy here for us investors is have a good partner. Partnership matters, and a good partner to me is 3 things. Number 1, it's somebody who takes the ride with you. I wouldn't have been much good to Isla staying on the ground. A lot of advisors out there who don't practice what they preach. Their personal balance sheets are a mess. They're investing in a way completely different than what they're telling their clients to do. Find someone that's going to join that ride who can, again, then 2, speak from experience. The second important point, Isla trusted us getting on that ride because she knew we wouldn't put her in a place of danger, that we had been there before, that we knew how to do it and do it safely. Your advisors should be able to play that same role for you. And finally, the third most important thing is that they're empathetic. In the midst of that ride, it would have done me no good to try to explain the physics of a roller coaster or the precautions that a Disney World takes to make sure that they're having a safe ride to her. I just needed to hold her hand. I needed to be there for her. And there are times as investors, we just need someone who, again, will sit alongside of us and be there for us. For us, that starts at the beginning of the journey with the cornerstone conversation in terms of getting to know clients, the time we put into these weekly messages, to just, again, picking up the phone wherever we are, Disney World included, to talk through clients in their times of need. Does this matter? Well, it does. And again, if you go to the links below, you'll find Vanguard's done studies that suggest over a 25-year time period, as an example, $500,000 invested with an advisor would more likely grow to 3.2 million or 3.4, excuse me, as opposed to 1.67, almost twice as much money. In the study, the links are all in there before. So again, this is important on an emotional level. It does translate to a better overall mathematic experience as well. The last thing Isla said when I asked her, how did you make through this ride, big little kid, was, well, sometimes I just had to close my eyes. And I think that, again, is something that as investors, we need to keep in mind too. That, yeah, we buckle up that seatbelt. Yeah, we hold the hand of a good partner. And while those things are absolutely important to safely getting through the ride, None of them can change the ride we're about to go on. There's nothing we can do as investors that's going to make the market do anything on a given day or over a given period of time. And so it may be that that last thing you need to do is just close your eyes and hold on and trust that you've done everything you need to do to be in a place to successfully get through that ride. Don't get on a roller coaster without expecting twists and turns. Don't get into the market without understanding that, again, twists and turns are part of it as well. Corrections, as we've stated before, happen about every 18 months. The typical drawdown is about 14%, and yet, just like the twists and turns of a roller coaster don't mean you're in any particular danger, nor does that volatility within markets mean that you can't have every bit of a thrilling and exciting result, with 75% of years usually being positive, an average of an almost 10% return for stock markets. In summary, some things come with the territory. Some twists and turns are inevitable, but just like the thrill of a roller coaster means you need to get on the ride, so too the thrill of making money, taking the protective steps of not letting your hard-earned money be eroded by inflation, as we touch on in the written commentary, mean you need to accept that volatility is the price you pay as an investor. But just like little Isla, to bring that picture back up, Matt, at the end of the journey, you can have a smile on your face as well with the right steps. Thanks so much.